Ahoy there, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Grim Games. Today, we're diving into the dark, mysterious waters of Pirate Borg, so grab your cutlass and join me on this thrilling adventure. I have not played Pirate Borg as of this recording. I plan on playing it by this weekend at the latest. This game seems to be fast-paced, deadly, and fun. The whole system is designed to quickly roll up new characters, as is expected your character will die. Let's talk setting. Pirate Borg takes place in an alternate universe of the Caribbean called the Dark Caribbean. It has all sorts of factions and dangers to lure your players into dangerous situations. There is about 7 different factions in the world, including the British, the French Indies, and 2 pirate factions. The monsters in the book are amazingly done and are unique and interesting enough to actually use them, including their skeletons. You just don't have plain skeletons. Character creation is left to random generation. It reminds me of like the old Traveler system, but with way less complexity. You start by rolling for your equipment, which I think is really unique. You start with your equipment, and then you proceed to roll your stats. There are about 5 stats in the game: strength, agility, presence, and spirit. You roll 3d6 and go straight down the line. There is no 4d6 and take the highest. It's just straight 3d6. The rolls have a modifier attached to them, so you really play off the modifier like you would in D&D. Next, you roll your character class. There are 8 total classes, but the book recommends, if this is your first time playing, that you start with the first 6. The classes are Brute, Rapscallion, Buccaneer, Swashbuckler, Zealot, and Sorcerer. The 2 extra ones are Hollowed Ones and Tall Tales. They all have a uniqueness to them, such as like the Rapscallion uses a deck of cards as its mechanic. The classes also give you your starting hit dice, so you roll it and add your toughness, and that's your starting hit points. So it's possible to get lower than 1, but the book says you always start with 1 no matter what. Your class also determines what die types you roll for your weapons, clothing, and hat. Yes, you do get a hat, except there is one class that does not. It also gives you your starting Devil's Die. Devil's Die is a die that you roll every day to get a number of points. Those points can then be used to lower the damage against you, deal max damage for 1 attack, re-roll any die, lowering the test of a test by -4, or neutralizing a crit or a fumble. It's an interesting concept, rolling for your bonus every day, instead of just giving it to you based on your class. So it's an interesting concept. I think I like it. You then roll on some tables that give you unique narrative-driven stuff, such as being afraid of prime numbers, or having a betting obsession where you bet on everything. There's a table called Unfortunate Incidents and Conditions, and this gives you things such as like your close relative is your greatest enemy, you've escaped captivity and swore to God that you'll never go back. There's a table for things of importance, which are simple things such as 2 coconuts, shells, a small golden bell, silver rings that give you special things. Then there's a distinctive flaw and a physical trait table too. After that, you're done. You name your character, and you're done. It literally takes 5 to 10 minutes to whip up a character. You could probably do it faster once you actually get get used to the layout of the book. It's a very pretty book, but the layout is kind of hard to get used to. The mechanics of the game are pretty simple. It's a roll over mechanic, so you roll a d20, add your modifier, and if you succeed the test DC, then you win. The tests are simple. For combat, there's like ranged attack, melee attack, and defensive attack. Another interesting thing about the system is initiative. You roll a 1d6, and on a 1 to 3 the players go first, and on a 4 to 6 the enemies go first. Enemies do not roll to attack in combat. It's all done by defensive rolls by the players. You can't have a pirate game without having naval combat. Naval combat is handled with a captain and a crew. The captain is the one that manages the movement of the ship. Each turn the captain moves the ship the number of spaces the ship has for speed. The crew can take one crew action at this time any time during the movement. The crew actions are fire broadside cannons, which only fire at a 45-degree angle on the sides, fire small arms, full sail, come about, drop anchor, weigh anchor, repair, boarding party, ram, or something else such as relics or rituals that you can cast normally that would affect the game. Not only does this book include this great system, but it also includes a story for you to start your adventure in. It's called The Curse of the Skeleton Point. It takes place in a town called Coral Town, which is full of interesting things to do. On top of this, it also gives you a whole bunch of roll tables in this to create your own adventure. It's really interesting. Like they created like these locations, but these locations have roll tables that allow you to like get more out of them than what's actually in the story that they present. It has some really beautiful maps there. A lot of them are isometric. There are a couple that are flat, but most of them are isometric. It really allows you to get a good sense of like the spacing of the mission. It's interesting. It comes out to be very fun. It does come with a nice little here's a character sheet that you can circle and fill out and just go through step by step and fill it out. It's an interesting, neat little book. This looks to be an interesting system that borrows heavily from games such as Dungeons & Dragons, but makes it way simpler and easier. I'm looking forward to actually trying out this game. The layout of the book is a benefit and a bane all at the same time. The book is beautifully designed, the images are all hand-drawn, and the book focuses on graphic design and typography. The downfall to all this beautiful art and typography is that it's sometimes hard for you to find what you need. It took me 2 or 3 reads to feel like I knew what I was doing, because my ADHD brain would just go all over the page because of all the beautiful art, instead of reading what I needed to read. Overall, I'm excited to start playing. I think it's going to be a blast. It feels fast-paced and well thought out, and overall, it's a good pirate adventure. So unfurl your sails and take to the seas in this Pirate Borg adventure with me, and enjoy. Arrr, Matey.